People in Wisconsin grow up with strange winter superstitions, but there's one warning parents whisper more seriously than the rest. If you hear a bell outside your door after midnight, don't open it, not even a crack, because it might not be the wind. It might be the bell ringer of Wisconsin. Locals say he's a drifter, a tall, thin man in a torn Santa hat, a face you can't fully see, and an old rusted handbell he drags behind him on a leather strap. Some claim he used to be a mall Santa who froze to death during a blizzard back in the 60s. Others say he was a door-to-door salesman murdered on Christmas Eve, still trying to finish his route. But everyone agrees on one thing. He knocks, and he waits. He never forces his way inside. He just stands there, shaking that broken bell, gently, rhythmically, wrong, like the clapper inside is missing. A flat, empty clink. Locals say the sound is impossible to forget, a hollow echo that seems to vibrate inside your ribs. If you open the door, you are marked. Not to kill you, no. He replaces you. The real story begins. This story comes from a subscriber who grew up outside Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Her name is Lydia, and she told me that in her neighborhood, kids didn't joke about the bell ringer. They genuinely believed in him. Every December, for as long as she remembered, someone on their street would report hearing the bell. But in 2014, it was Lydia's house. Lydia was 13. It was the week before Christmas. Snow stacked in thick layers against the porch steps, the kind of cold where the air feels sharp. Her parents were already asleep when she heard it. Clink, clink, clink. Not a jingle, not a ring, just that dull, broken sound. At first, she thought it was something falling off the gutter or a branch scraping the siding. But then, clink, clink, clink. It was coming from the front door. She froze because she'd heard the warnings her whole life. She crawled out of bed, crept down the hall, and peeked through the stairs toward the entryway. There was a shadow behind the frosted glass, tall, motionless. Clink, clink, one shake at a time. Lydia didn't move. She didn't even breathe. Eventually, the sound stopped. The shadow faded. She didn't sleep that night. Snow should fall evenly across a porch, right? Smooth, untouched. But outside their door, the snow wasn't untouched. There were footprints, long, dragging ones, circling the house, not just to the front door, but around the windows, across the backyard, past the garage, like someone had been inspecting every entrance. Her dad tried to laugh it off, but she noticed something. His hands were shaking. The next night, the house felt colder than usual. The furnace was running, but Lydia swore she could see her breath. She stayed awake, wrapped in blankets, listening.
around 1:17 a.m., the bell started again. Clink, clink, clink. Then a slow knock. Thud, thud, thud. She tiptoed to her bedroom window that overlooked the front porch, and when she moved the curtain just an inch, she saw him.
A tall man in a heavy winter coat, but not red like the stories said. More like a faded maroon, torn, frayed, soaked through with years of weather. His Santa hat was ripped at the top, the white fluff stained gray. He wasn't knocking normally. His knuckles weren't even touching the door. He was using the bell, not to ring, to tap. Thud, 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 like he was knocking with the metal base. His face, she couldn't see it, not because it was turned away, but because it was shadowed, unnaturally shadowed, like something was covering it from the inside. But worst of all, he slowly lifted his head, and without eyes visible, without a face she could describe, she knew he saw her. The bell froze mid-air. Then he lifted his free hand and pointed right at her. Lydia dropped to the floor, crawling backward, heart hammering. She didn't go near the window again. The knocking stopped. But she heard something else. Soft footprints, crunching through the snow, walking around the house. Again. Her parents didn't believe her, but they stayed up that night, just in case. At 12:43 a.m., the house shook with the sound. Clink, clink, clink. Louder than before, like the bell was right against the door. Lydia's dad grabbed a baseball bat. Her mom called 911. But when they looked through the peephole, there was nothing. Silence. The police didn't find footprints that night. No signs of anyone. But something did change. Their front door had a mark carved into it. Deep, fresh, sharp. A small circle with a line through it. Her mom scrubbed at it. Her dad sanded it. But the groove remained. It's just kids messing around, the police said. But Lydia knew she'd been marked, because the bell ringer doesn't come 3 times. He comes 4. It was December 23rd, the coldest night that winter. The power flickered. The house felt wrong. At 3:09 a.m., the bell sounded for the last time, but this time it wasn't at the door. It was at her bedroom window. Clink, clink. Lydia didn't look. She couldn't. She hid under the blankets, sobbing silently. Her parents barged into the room seconds later, but the window was empty. Only frost patterns, unfamiliar ones, spiraling outward like a handprint pressed into the glass. The bell ringer didn't return after that night, but Lydia said something followed her into adulthood. Every winter, when the temperature drops below zero, she hears faint metallic tapping on her windows. Not ringing, not knocking, just that same broken bell, as if he's checking to make sure she's still there. If you live in Wisconsin, or anywhere the snow gets deep and the nights get quiet, and you hear a bell outside your door that doesn't sound right, flat, hollow, wrong, don't look, don't open the door, don't even breathe too loudly, because once the bell ringer marks your house, he always comes back. Always.